Hello. The South African government says Zimbabwe's embattled president, Robert Mugabe, is meeting regional envoys who want to break the political impasse in the country. Mr. Mugabe travelled to State House in Harare from his residence, where he's been held under house arrest by the military. They intervened on Wednesday in an apparent attempt to block his wife, Grace Mugabe, from taking over the presidency. Richard Lister reports.
They are headlines most in Zimbabwe thought they'd never see. The man who'd held the nation in an iron grip for 37 years, swept aside by the military and now in custody. It's a lot to take in.
The step which was taken by the army is quite positive.
We are a bit uncertain about what's going to happen, but we are still very much fine.
I think we have to respect our president because he is too old. We have to give him a safe retirement package and find somewhere to keep him safe.
The military says it is keeping the president safe for now. Armoured vehicles are still patrolling the streets of Harare today. The army very much in charge, but also maintaining calm. President Mugabe has been kept out of sight. To maintain the pretense that this is not a coup, the army needs him to resign and allow a transition of power. Talks are already underway with South African envoys, but some reports suggest he's demanding to serve his full term.
President Mugabe is still in power. He's the man in charge of Zimbabwe, even though he's at home protected by the army. A lot has happened, right? But what has not happened is a coup.
Whatever you call it, waiting in the wings is Emmerson Mnangagwa, once Robert Mugabe's right-hand man, but sacked as vice president last week and widely believed to have engineered this takeover. The whereabouts of his main rival, the president's wife Grace, are unknown, and some of those in the governing party who supported her in the past and criticised the military yesterday are now falling into line.
Please accept my apologies on behalf of the Youth League and myself. We are still young people, we are still growing up, we learn from our mistakes, and from this big mistake, we have learned a lot.
But will a reshuffle at the top of ZANU-PF be enough for these opposition activists with the movement for democratic change? They've battled Mugabe for almost 2 decades and last year launched these large demonstrations against his rule. Their leader, Morgan Tsvangirai, threatened to unseat Mugabe once, and opposition parties may now see a path to power.
It is urgent that we go back to democracy. It is urgent that we go back to legitimacy. But we need a transitional period. And I think and I hope that dialogue can now be opened between the army and Zimbabweans.
State House, Mr. Mugabe's official residence, filmed here 8 years ago, may still have the trappings of power, but its occupant has lost his authority. Where once he could grandstand to the world, now others are deciding his fate. The man who said only God could remove him, the victim of a more mundane power struggle. Richard Lister, BBC News.